Kingsport, the model city. Kingsport is a city of about 50,000 people in northeast Tennessee. It is part of the Tri-Cities metropolitan area that includes Johnson City and Bristol. The area is home to about 400,000 people. The city is located along the Holston River and the foothills of the Smoky and Blue Ridge Mountains. Because of its location at the head of the Tennessee Valley River system, the Kingsport area was settled in the mid-18th century as a port to transport salt west from Virginia mines and as a way station for settlers traveling west through the Cumberland Gap. At this time, Kingsport was no more than a settlement with a boatyard, an inn, and an English military garrison called Fort Robinson. The town was chartered in 1822, but remained a small rural settlement throughout the 19th century. In the early 20th century, George L. Carter of Bristol bought land in the Kingsport area to build a railroad. The railroad would carry coal from the mines in southwestern Virginia and southeastern Kentucky. Carter turned to John B. Dennis of the Blair Company, the biggest municipal bond company on Wall Street, to manage the financing of the enterprise. Dennis envisioned and masterminded the creation of a planned city at Kingsport. He hired Carter's brother-in-law, J. Fred Johnson, to be his assistant. Together, they founded the modern city of Kingsport. Dennis traveled to Cambridge, Massachusetts, to hire the noted landscape architect Dr. John Nolan to plan the city. Nolan planned the city so that the industrial areas were by the river, residences on higher ground, and commercial areas were in between. He included frequent uses of traffic circles or roundabouts, which were unusual at the time. The next step was to recruit industry to the new town. One of the first was the Kingsport Brick Company, which eventually grew into General Shale Corporation and is now one of the largest building materials companies in the country. Another important industry was the Kingsport Press, which was founded by John B. Dennis. The press was one of the largest book manufacturers in the country for nearly 80 years. It produced textbooks, Bibles, the World Book Encyclopedia, and the Harry Potter books, among others. The establishment of the press led to the establishment of related industries, like the Kingsport Pulp Paper Mill, which later became part of Domtar, and Holliston Mills, which manufactured book cloth. After World War I, George Eastman, founder of Kodak Corporation, was invited to Kingsport because he was looking for a location to produce chemicals for his film. The war had caused shortages in a number of chemicals, and Eastman wanted a supplier near the southern forests, which were the source of many of the needed chemicals. He established the Tennessee Eastman Company. The company soon grew into a diversified chemical company. Among its products were the explosive RDX, which was crucial to munitions used in World War II, and superglue, which was invented in Kingsport. Eventually, Tennessee Eastman Company was spun off from Kodak and became the Eastman Chemical Company. It is now the largest private employer in Tennessee. Dennis and Johnson next turned to developing a school system for the new town. The system was based on a plan designed at Columbia University. Commerce was centered in the downtown area, especially along Broad Street. Johnson himself established the local department store. The newspaper was established, as well as the bank, with Johnson himself as president. Dennis and Johnson turned to the Rockefeller Foundation for help with developing the city government, and Kingsport became the first city in Tennessee to adopt a council-manager form of government. This is a type of government where a professional city manager directs day-to-day operations of government. This form is widely adopted today, but was very innovative at the time. As the city grew, new residences were built according to the original plan. One of the first developments was a neighborhood of Tudor-style homes called the 50s. As the population grew, neighborhoods spread outside of the originally planned boundaries. Kingsport today is a thriving industrial community thanks to the foundations established by three men: George L. Carter, John B. Dennis, and J. Fred Johnson. Together, they established the model city.